Hey, what's up? Cody here. We live in a world that the Bible describes as fallen, that God made the world perfect, and He had a perfect relationship with people, and people had a perfect relationship with one another. But then something drastic happened, and sin entered into the world. And since that point, there's been a problem in every relationship with everybody and everything. Our relationship with God was destroyed. Our relationship with one another was destroyed. Our relationship with animals was destroyed. That's why they're trying to eat us and we eat them. And our relationship with work was also destroyed in terms of our relationship with the planet and everything involved in that. Sin has destroyed everything. And in that, God has graciously given us a way to be able to fix some of that. Now, this side of heaven, it's never going to be fixed. It's never going to be perfect. There's just going to be things that are outside of your control that you just can't fix. But some things are in your control. There are some things that you can do. There are some things that you can implement in order to be able to do what you can to have the best kind of relationship possible with both God and people. And interestingly, Proverbs chapter 3 talks about that. Right here in the beginning of Proverbs 3, it says this, verses 3 and 4, "Let not mercy and truth forsake you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart, and so find favor and high esteem in the sight of God and man." This is talking to us about the idea that we have a broken relationship with God and people. And in that broken relationship, we need to do what we can to have restoration in that. Well, first and foremost, Jesus is the only one who can fix any of this. There's no amount of reading, self-help books, no amount of religious activity, no amount of just trying really hard that will cause this to get fixed. Jesus and having a right relationship with Him is the only one that fixes this. And as He invades your heart, something changes. And what changes is that mercy and truth invade. And so I wanted to talk about these two things because these are the keys to having these relationships restored and fixed. They're also, interestingly, the reasons why things are destroyed or the reasons why relationships don't work correctly. The first one, mercy. Mercy is best understood as a contrast to grace. We tend to use the word grace as a blanket concept over everything. Just be gracious to me. I would hope that you would have grace toward me. And usually what we mean is that we want mercy. Even when we're dealing sometimes with our kids, we talk in terms of grace, but what we mean is mercy. Grace is getting stuff that you don't deserve, that you deserve bad, but you get good. Mercy, on the other hand, is not getting what you do deserve, that you do deserve bad and you don't get what you deserve. Let me illustrate it for you this way, something that we all can kind of connect with in terms of our world and that we live in. You're driving, you're speeding, you run a stoplight, and you run over a pedestrian. So there's a lot going on. You are guilty, and you know you are. And so you are driving along. Well, what you didn't know is that there was a cop at the intersection that was watching the whole thing go down. And so he pulls you over and starts to have a conversation with you. And usually the cop says something along the lines of, "Do you know what you did?" And that's a point of whether or not you're going to be honest and truthful. And usually you're not, because you know what you were doing. Sometimes there's those times when you don't. But if the cop pulls you over and doesn't immediately cuff you, but instead starts talking to you, and he asks you if you know what you did, and then he starts to explain to you, well, you were speeding, you were going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, you ran a stop sign and you ran over somebody, and I think they're dead, and you're guilty. And I need to take you into custody now. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let you off with a warning. That's mercy. That the cop doesn't write you a ticket, doesn't take you to jail. You should be criminally charged. Mercy is you deserve all that, but he didn't give it to you. That's mercy. Grace would be, hey, I noticed, the cop saying, hey, I noticed that your car is a little bit beat up since you ran that guy over. What about, let's go down to the car dealership. I want to buy you a brand new lifted truck. That's grace. You don't deserve anything. In fact, you deserve the opposite, but he gives something good to you anyway. We need to be a people who have mercy as a part of our lives, that we just give mercy away, that we don't hold people hostage, that they don't owe us things, that we let the Lord deal with those things, that we are merciful, that yeah, maybe they do deserve it. Maybe they deserve something to happen. Maybe they've done something wrong, and maybe it's involved you or affected you, or maybe it's directly against you. But are you willing to extend mercy? Are you willing to just let it go and let God deal with those consequences? That's the first one. The other one is the idea of truth. Now, typically, we live in a world where truth is assaulted all the time. And we're told that truth is no longer even valid. That truth is something that is relative, and you get to decide what's true for you, and I'll decide what's true for me, and we'll all just live this kumbaya, happy little life. The fact and reality is that doesn't work. Try that with your boss next time you don't feel like showing up to work on time. And you walk in and he says, hey, you didn't get to work on time. And you say to him, well, that's true for you, but what's true for me is I showed up perfectly on time. It's psychotic. It doesn't work in our world. It seems good on paper, but doesn't actually work. Truth is something that we've got to hold to. And typically speaking, when we're talking about relationships, whenever something's wrong, it's because something true has not been received. I've believed some sort of falsehood. I've received some sort of falsehood. I'm giving some sort of falsehood, and that's destroying the relationship. And so instead of receiving those falsehoods or making up my own things or assuming that I know your motivations behind what you're doing and the decisions you're making, instead, I need to go to you and talk through it and be willing to receive the truth. The truth is, I probably don't know what's going on. The truth is, if I had a little more information, then the thing would all diffuse. The truth is that instead of assigning your motivation for you, if I let you tell me what you're actually thinking, what you're actually doing, then the relationship works. So I just want to encourage you with that today. Are you functioning in mercy and in truth? Are you binding them on your heart? Are you allowing the Lord to infuse them into your life? Or are you bent on your own way and trying to get everyone else to come along with you? I pray that the Lord works in your life today. I pray that He leads you today and that you see His presence in more abundant and leading ways in your life. God bless you.